Happy New Year, beloved. I hope you are safe and you are blessed. And I hope this year God gives you all the blessings that are meant for you and you get to learn, grow, and become a better version of yourself. So let's get right into it. This journey is not easy. It's going to be scary. It's going to be lonely. But we need to remember that God is always with us. So I'm just here to encourage you the same way that I get encouraged by the people around me. So this journey is not easy. And when you start walking by God and with God, you need to understand that you will somehow outgrow people, outgrow places, and most likely spend most of your time alone. And people are not going to always understand you or your personality. And maybe sometimes you might find yourself not fitting in many spaces or in many groups or even with your peers because you feel different, right? So that is the thing with being called to serve God or be in alignment with God, or if God has a greater purpose for you, He is going to isolate you and you're not going to fit in with other people because you cannot serve God and serve people at the same time. You cannot please God and please people at the same time. So I got this verse from Galatians chapter 1 verse 10, and it says, am I now trying to please human beings or to please God? Right. So there comes a point in life where you need to make a decision as to whether do I want to please God or do I want to please people? And when you decide to please God, it means everything that you do to feed the flesh, you need to stop and start feeding your spirit. And how do we feed our spirit? By praying, reading your Bible, being godly, protecting your heart, and keeping it pure as much as you possibly can, as well as loving God's people, and if possible, attending church as well, just involving yourself with things that lift your spirit up and that feed your spirit, reading the Bible especially, because the more you know, the better it is for you so you can maneuver around your spiritual life. It continues to say, or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be the servant of God. So you cannot please people and be the servant of God at the same time. Why? Because sometimes this journey is embarrassing to people that do not understand the ways of the Spirit, which means that if you continue to please people, you won't be able to do what the servant of Christ does. Because sometimes what you are called to do may be embarrassing in your eyes, right? In any person who doesn't think with the mind of the Spirit, it might be embarrassing to go preach in a bus, go preach at a hospital, or go to a certain home and pray over that person. It might be embarrassing. That is why God says we can't serve people or please people and serve Him at the same time, because not many people think with the mind of the Spirit, as many are still living for the flesh and feeding the flesh. So we need to make a decision at some point that if I'm going to walk with God, understand that things will change for you. Not only things that will change for you, but also people around you, because they would not understand the person that you are becoming or the gifts that you have. So sometimes God will assign people to you that will be able to help you in your journey. And as much as He can assign people to you, He can also remove people that are there in your life that are not meant to be there. Pay no mind about what people say about you. This is your journey with God, and you need to walk with God to understand who you are, what gifts you have, or what you have been called for, or how you can serve the Lord the way He wants you to serve Him. Because remember, He has plans for every single one of us. The more obedient you are, the more you're going to get to where God wants you to get. But the less obedient you are, the more you're going to stay stuck, because you're trying to please both people and please God, or seek the approval of people or the approval of God at the same time, which cannot exist or happen. Why? Because we can't feed the flesh and feed the spirit at the same time and expect that to work out. It won't. It doesn't. The more you move towards the spirit, the further away you are from the flesh. And we need to accept that. We need to live with that. We need to understand that. Let me get to the real part of it. You are going to be alone most of the time, especially because you're trying to figure out who you are as a person and what you have been called for. Or if you are aware of the gifts that you have, you need to figure out how to use them, where to use them, and why do I have them. So in that moment, it's your moment of silence. It's your moment of isolation. And everything outside of you, it doesn't matter at that moment. It doesn't matter what people say about you or what they're trying to figure out about you, because you yourself are trying to figure out who you are as an individual and where you fit in the spiritual realm. So don't go out of your way to be understood by people. Even Jesus himself in John 4 verse 44 said, he testifies that no prophet has honor in his own country. So sometimes you have to move away from what you know to become the best version of yourself or become what God wants you to become. You have to move away from that place, from that area, from those people, so you can be alone and start being in a place where you can be honored the way you're supposed to be honored. So leaving things behind is scary, but mostly it is necessary. Because the things that people in your country won't see, other people will see immediately. Because that's where you are called for. Right. There's many ways that we can interpret this, but I don't want to be long because my video is already long. But don't try to explain yourself. Be okay with being alone. Be okay with starting over. Don't be afraid to lose everything, because when you lose everything, it means you're going to gain everything else. Because remember, when we lose one thing, we make room for the other. And that's how it is. That's life. Many things go away so the new ones can come in. You have to let go of the old so the new can come in. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared. So everything or every time you feel like it's getting really difficult, just know that you are moving towards where you need to be. And I can't be long. I thank God that we're in the year 2026. And I hope He carries us and He blesses us and He gives us hope more than anything.